All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off with giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Wakar Kodash. On the saying, give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders, a great millstone for teaching his word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect, 144,000, along with the men, women, and children, a mixed multitude. Okay, hey, I'm the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS and I came across some information that I kind of wanted to share, and it's just more evidence, one, that we're the Israelites, because the curses that were levied upon us in Deuteronomy 28, 15 on down, expressively, you know, speak against us because of our wickedness, against our power, right? And so I just wanted to show you that, this system that we live in, it wasn't made for us to benefit from. Although some of us, shit, all of us, at some point in of our lives, have benefited from the system. We're not benefiting like Esau Edom is. Why? Because this system was built for him. It was built for him to thrive in it. It was built for him to excel in it. It wasn't built for so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and similar entities. Again, this system wasn't built for us to benefit from it. All right, and this is an example. The example is Section 8 vouchers. Okay, now when most people think about Section 8 vouchers, something that you think about is normally low income housing, projects, shade tree builded dwellings, dwellings that are close together, dwellings that are on top of one another. The neighborhoods are violent. There's you see in this picture right here, the neighborhood is filled with single mothers and multiple children without fathers. Okay, the rent's low, is typically low, and there's really no, if any, resources in the neighborhoods for the children to benefit from. But that's one side of Section 8, and that's the Israelite side of Section 8. That's the lower uh, side of Section 8. You know, there's another side, and the other side is the white side, the so-called white side, right? So I wanted to play you something and I'll bring some facts out too, because our people, we get the shitty end of the stick. When you think of Section 8, landlords, particularly landlords, don't want to rent to people of so-called color, right? And which is understandable to some point, because Jake will tear the shit up, or the neighborhoods will come what they call blighted by violence, drugs, all manners of wickedness. It says landlords don't want vouchers, the hurdle of keeping people on Section 8. And normally, I'm gonna play this because it's a good video to contrast, right? Towards so-called, except for white people. Section 8 secrets for people with disabilities. You got different types of people can benefit from this particular thing. But again, Section 8 is that as a negative thing when it comes to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But when it comes to the so-called white man, it's not. When it comes to using public assistance, uh, whether that be food stamps, SNAP benefits, resources like that, WIC, you know, we become the face of that. But in reality, it's the so-called white man, right? So I typed in right here, um, what race uses Section 8 the most in the United States? According to a 2012 data from the National Low Income Housing Coalition, the racial breakdown of project-based Section 8 residents was 49% white, 33% black, 13% Hispanic. In 2021, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development reported that the racial breakdown of housing credit tenants was 24.4 white, 27.3% black or African American, 10% Hispanic, 1% American Indian, Alaska Natives, multiracial 0.8%, Asian 0.4%, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders 33.8%, tenants who choose not to report racial characteristics, right? So this shows you right here. Look at this. It says the distribution of residents living in project based, because project based, I think project, what is project based Section 8? Because I believe that's like the multi uh level housing versus single houses. What is that? What is this? I just want to see what this is. So purpose of project-based assistance is to encourage property owners to construct, rehabilitate, and make available standard rental housing stock to lower income families at rent with Section 8 programs establish limits, maximize housing choice, especially for low income families who have traditionally, let me see, the Section 8 project based rental assistance program enables more than 2.2 million people in 1.2 million households with low income, right, to receive these vouchers. Okay, so let me go back to this, right? So when you see Section 8, the first thing you think of is so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. People living in disparate neighborhoods, right? Wrong, right? I typed this in. Which nationality uses government assistance the most in the United States? Using research from the Urban Institute gathering data, 59 million people, the graph below presents the largest percentage of welfare recipients in 2019. The majority of recipients were white, 43%, followed by Hispanic, 26%, 43%, followed by Hispanics at 26%, and blacks at 23%, right? And this is pretty recent. Are black people the majority of welfare recipients? And the answer is no. And why is that? Because again, this system wasn't created for you to maximize the usage of it. Even though you do get to use it, you don't get to use it in the way that Esau gets to use it. You notice that when they get on Section 8, they don't move to the ghetto. They don't move to project-based housing, right? They move to the burbs, and they can buy houses, right? So this is some information I found just typing it in. This is 11 months ago. Check this out.
Well, consumer reporter Heather Salt, little known secret to help low income Section 8 housing vouchers are designed to help Section 8 housing vouchers are designed to help low income recipients pay the rent. But it's a little known secret that they can actually be used to buy a home as well. Consumer reporter Heather Sullivan joining us live in the studio with some smart sense on how this all works. Heather.
Yeah, so the Housing Choice Voucher Home Ownership Program allows families to use their voucher to buy a home where the local public housing agency participates. And here in Houston, they do. And it is giving people the keys to buying their own homes.
This is the kitchen. I love the openness.
A kitchen, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, all her own.
Very spacious house.
Abigail Cooper says she went from fighting an illegal eviction over repairs in court to using her Section 8 housing voucher to buy her first home instead.
You see the Edomites? The Edomites, and look, they ain't got to pay no crazy mortgage. The insurance going to be affordable, everything. When Jake get Section 8, you go to the ghetto. You get this right here. You see? I'm telling you, it's a stark difference. And a lot of Jake, you get mad. You can't get mad because really this is their world. This ain't our world. Jake will be arguing for more rights, for more access to resources. And you ain't going to get it, but they still argue and do it. Why? Because they think that this world is for them. This ain't our world. This is the world of the heathen, the Edomite. You see, this woman went from eviction, fighting an eviction, to owning her own home. How many Jakes use their Section 8 vouchers to own homes? Most of you don't. Matter of fact, landlords don't even want to rent to you.
Ruth Hancock has a glow you can't help but notice.
I am truly grateful.
Grateful for her bird Crystal, her dog,
This is Tia.
and an apartment they can all call home.
An apartment.
I actually lived up under the bridge in the West End area.
That was 5 years ago, before moving into Capitol View. It's an apartment complex that accepts housing vouchers, a rental assistance program for those in poverty. For Ruth, that means she only pays 30% of her income on rent. The government picks up the rest. But not everyone gets that chance.
It's just like a waste of time.
We met Yvonne Sims and Vincent Dillard at Athens' city-sanctioned encampment. You could technically be in an apartment right now if you could find one that would accept the voucher.
Yes.
Both have been...
And why they don't accept the voucher? Because you're Jakes. And there's a stigma that's put with so-called blacks and Latinos, Native Americans. Meanwhile, Esau, Edom, they got the hidden information. They got the hidden resources to buy homes. She ain't living under no bridge. She ain't living in no tent. This shows you that we're the Israelites, bro. Even a poor Esau is doing way better than a poor Jake, man. Shit, some of you so-called working class Jakes, you see, you're not gonna see Jake buying a first home, which that's supposed to be a avenue into personal wealth.
Don't fear being homeless anymore.
To buy her first home instead.
I don't fear being homeless anymore.
You see, because the system ain't set up for you. Esau talking about she don't fear being homeless no more. But Jake, look at them. Look, Jake in despair. They homeless. They broken. Why? Because this ain't our world. This system was set up for Esau to excel. Real quick, this is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So the power of the world right now is given to Esau. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the what? The wicked. It says the whole earth is in the hands of the wicked. Right? So again, this is the reason why they system benefit them more than it's going to benefit us. In the world to come, guess what? It's going to benefit us way more than it's going to benefit Esau. He's going to get some benefits. Why? Because he's in a righteous world. He's going to get clean. Well, it's going to be clean water. It's going to be clean air, real clean air. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be able to witness. I don't know if he's going to be able to partake in it, but he's definitely going to witness a world that's a stark contrast to the world that he had and he created. You know? And then they'll use this, like they'll use Section 8 in these situations to oppress Jake. But Jake just want to live like the regular people. You know what I mean? But why can't you? Because the system wasn't set up for you to benefit.
I have a sense of homeless anymore.
Buy her first home instead.
I don't fear being homeless anymore. I have a sense of peace. This is mine.
Yeah, you see, Jake don't got that. Jake don't got a sense of peace that this is theirs.
And it's easier to find a home to buy with a voucher than it is to find a home to rent.
But it
Wow.
wasn't easy. Cooper had to save up for a down payment and build her credit score. Then she called Allison Griffin.
December or January is when my process started with her. And fast forward March 29th, I'm in my own home.
Wow. So from December to March, that's like 90 days. She was already in her own home. You know what I mean? Jake will never know what it's like to own a home on Section 8.
Choice voucher is just a source of income, Heather. That's all it is.
Griffin is a brave.
It's a source of income, Heather.
29th, I'm in my own home.
The housing choice voucher is just a source of income, Heather. That's all it is.
Griffin is a branch manager with Cross.
Yeah, it's all it is. It all is for Esau, not you, Jakes.
And a champion for Section 8 homebuyers. She says it can help break generational poverty.
Most of my families are off the voucher, off any type of government assistance within 4 to 5 years.
She says,
yeah, you see, but it's supposed to be temporary. But Jake made that shit generational, man. Why? Because of the curses, man. Let me get another precept real quick. It's the book of Deuteronomy 28, right? I know that you detract us from the truth. You hate us using Deuteronomy 28, but hey, man, this is truth. You know what I'm saying? These curses fit us, man. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Let me get this real quick. Salaki, just bear with me, brothers. Just bear with me, brothers. Yep. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 46. It says, all, and they shall be, matter of fact, I'll start at 45. Right? Matter of fact, I'll start at 43 because that's what I wanted to start at. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Right? And you see that. You see the contrast in between this Edomite. She's all happy. She got a big ass house by herself. I'm sure it was easy for her to fix her credit and get her credit score up and come up with the down payment. Versus Jake, they living on the streets. Jake is living on the streets in a tent in despair, right? Because it's that curse, the stranger. Esau is a stranger. But guess what? He's coming up above you. These other nations are strangers. But guess what? They come up above us. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And you don't see that with them J's. You don't see that with the JOOs. They're not living like this. Only time they can talk about being oppressed or going through something is the H cost. That's it. And then they try to attach themselves to whatever happened to Judah 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, right? It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Right, you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, you don't own banks. When you go into a bank, even if you got your paperwork together, and your credit's good, your paperwork's together, you probably got a down payment and collateral. Guess what? You ain't going to get that loan. That loan will go to an Edomite that barely got any of those things before it go to you. Why? Because the system was set up for them to benefit, and this is part of the curses, right? She's came up above you, and look, you come down very low. Jake out here sitting on on lawn chairs, you know what I'm saying? Fold up chairs in the street, broken. Jake's spirit is broken, bro. And the one Jake, she was just happy that she had a place, an apartment. She's in an apartment while Esau, Edom, is in the house. And then they'll say, oh, you Jakes, you just abusing the system for welfare. Yeah, well, it gets to a point where you get off of, you're supposed to get off of it. It's supposed to be temporary. But Jake make it generational. Okay, Jake will be in Section 8 housing for 4 generations, man. 5 generations. If you let him, right? Instead of really understanding the system, which Esau do this on purpose. He don't want you to understand the system. It ain't set up for you to benefit from the system, right? Somebody said people is not just free. They have to pay a portion equal to 30% and no more than 40% of the mortgage plus PMI, insurance, property taxes, and have a certain amount of income, work, or disability, and have to attend a home buyers class, which that's easy. Anybody can do that. It says this should have been revealed years ago, so generational wealth could be established. Well, it wasn't set up for you to have generational wealth here. Why? Because this ain't our rest. I'm gonna go back to Deuteronomy 28. Let me get Micah 2:10, right? Micah 2:10. This ain't your rest, and this is the reason why Jake won't benefit in the system the way Esau is. It says, "Arise, ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted; it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction." Right? This world is polluted, and if you put your life into this world, if you put your all into this place, it's going to destroy you because this world is ultimately polluted. Going back to Deuteronomy 28, right? It says, verse 44 again, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. So you Jakes, you don't lend to Esau. But guess what? In the world to come, we're going to lend to these nations, not Esau. But these other nations, when they stand up, and it's time for them to build up their nation and their lands and their infrastructure, they're going to have to come to us. But right now, we're the tail. We're not the head because we ain't under the blessings yet. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. So again, you go to these banks, he's going to lend to you. You ain't going to lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And this is the reason why. Okay? And it took time. It took a lot of time for these curses to really kick in and really fire up on our ass. The Lord allowed us to get to a certain point, and then he judged us, right? Verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever. All right? So this is a signal that we're the Israelites, okay? This is a signal that we're the Israelites. It says, these horrors will serve as a sign and a warning among you and your descendants forever, right? So this is the reason why Jake, to this day, going through all hell. And Esau, Edom, they're not, And I ain't saying every Edomite benefits from Section 8 the way this woman does, but there's two different Section 8s. Shit, is really three. Because these foreigners, they come over here as refugees and they get the same treatment that old girl get, and quicker. Meanwhile, you Jakes, you just be hoping that you hit the Section 8 lottery.
Approved for the rental assistance program.
Yes.
Both have been approved for the rental assistance program, but neither can find a landlord that will accept it.
And why they won't accept it? Because you're Jakes. You're Israelites. And these curses are a sign and a wonder unto you.
I vouchers in December.
Avon was approved more than a year ago. Both say they were given outdated lists of potential properties to try. It is up to them to make call after call and pay application fees that get them nowhere.
What's the use of a voucher and I can't do anything with it?
Nikita
Right.
Blanc is getting her master's in sociology at Georgia State University. As part of the program, she spent a year working at the Marietta Housing Authority.
I've been, I've seen the desperation in a lot of people's faces when they can't find a place.
Moved by her experience, she is working with other students to figure out why landlords are locking out tenants on Section 8.
Because you're Jakes. It's racial. And their system ain't set up for you. It's set up for Esau. Because these curses are what? A sign and a wonder. These horrors are a sign and a wonder on us, man. All right. Meanwhile, this woman gets to own her first home, and she ain't got that long to live. She about in her 50s. She probably 40. They get ugly when they get older. But you know what I'm saying? She's in her 50s. Let's say she's in her 50s, bro. You know what I'm saying? She just got her own home. She ain't got to worry about homes no more. She ain't got to worry about her voucher being turned away. Why? Because the system wasn't set up for Jake. It's set up for Esau.
Buyers need at least a 640 credit score and a down payment, but down payment assistance is available.
You've got the City of Houston down payment assistance of up to $50,000.
And most Jakes don't even have. I think I just saw something, not sure how credible this guy's information was, but he said like 80-something% of so-called black people in America have a credit score of 600 and under. They don't even have a credit score of 620, right? That's what he said. The average, so the majority of so-called Negroes in America, their credit is already shot this shit. Now that comes with discipline and financial acumen,
Harris County has a new home program where they're discounting houses up to 45% on a brand new house.
Damn.
Griffin says not all lenders are receptive, but it is protected by law.
There's a law called Equal Credit Opportunity Act.
Yeah, but that Equal Credit Opportunity Act don't affect Jake. It don't help you.
Protect those families with the receipt of public assistance.
Cooper still can't believe she's actually living the American dream.
I'm still overwhelmed.
And why is she living the American dream? Because she's an Edomite. She's an Edomite, man. This is why she's living an American dream. And remember, the majority of people on assistance in this country, all right, which nation of people is so-called white man? Esau, Edom. Which nationality uses government assistance more most in the United States? All right, white people. It just say white, which is no such thing as white people. They're Edomites, right? Says the majority of recipients were white, 43%, followed by Hispanics, and then Judah in the back with 23%. Almost half the percentage of the white man. You see? And this is the big misnomer. I don't want to use the word misnomer, but this is a big misconception that so-called black people are extreme recipients of these vouchers, and they're not. It says listen to this. It says, this is the claim. The majority of people on welfare, it says the claim. The majority of people on welfare assistance are black. Welfare claims exist and they constantly take advantage of government social support programs. False. It says, as it stands, the United States government spends $1 trillion on social safety net programs. This includes everything from child nutrition to housing assistance. Of these programs, welfare assistance accounts for an estimated 15 billion. Requesting government help is not limited to one type of group of people, but stereotypes linking black people to welfare assistance or fraud remain entrenched in popular discourse. Economic disparities exist between racial groups, also within different demographics, like age and gender. For black people, every generation experience in political and technological advancement has been paired with ongoing drumbeat of discrimination in employment, education, and housing. So this is oppression. Jake is being oppressed, right? The majority of those who receive government assistance in the United States or the US are not black. Using research from the Urban Institute gathering data from 59 million people, the graph below presents the largest percentage of welfare recipients in 2019. The majority of recipients were white, followed by Hispanics and blacks at 23%. These figures fall in line with the population demographics and debunk misconceptions that welfare programs are predominantly associated with black people, right? And you see the chart right here. Even with consistent data, the association between black people and welfare has remained prevalent, especially the welfare queen myth. The phrase is meant to depict black women exploiting the welfare system for personal gain. The welfare queen, what you have all these nations doing that shit, especially Esau. The welfare queen only has more children in order to gain social benefits. First coined in the 1970s with the media's coverage of Linda Taylor case popularized during Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign. A narrative, it says the narrative has stigmatized black women for attempting to access the same type of social programs or other racial group as other racial groups. Taylor was a singular case. She was convicted in 77 for assuming multiple identities and committing welfare fraud. She was also suspected of kidnapping and possibly having mental health issues. Right? See? But this is where we at. Meanwhile, Esau Edom, he gets to abuse the system and do what he will. Right? And real quick, because they said that that stigma that blacks are on welfare and the public assistance more than any other nation. Well, that's part of oppression. The scripture said right here, Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men. Like these Edomites, the wicked, they're not in trouble as other men. All right. Neither are they plagued like other men. Right. In the NLT, it says they don't have troubles like other people. They don't. These Edomites don't have trouble, and the other people are the Israelites. They are not plagued with problems like everyone else. They're not. Even if they do go through a situation of homelessness and helplessness, the system, the safety net is set up for them to benefit. It's set up there. If they, they learn how to freak it. They get up in there and they figure it out, right? Let me go back to Psalm 73, right? It says, therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment, right? These Edomites are super proud, and they've gained everything they had through violence, and they wear it on like it's a chain on their neck. They wear it like it's a garment, like a coat of honor, right? They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. You see the whole deal about so-called blacks being on public assistance more than Jakes. And the crazy thing about it is, it's a lot of wealthy people with real money that are using this system, right? Because it's there to be used. So these people are using it in a smart way. Check this out.
Which race has the highest percentage of people on Section 8?
I've been a Section 8 investor for 10 years, and I'm telling you the vast majority are Caucasian. Now I want to tell you how some folks had access to millions in assets, but were still qualifying for government assistance. About 8 years ago, my mentor was trying to teach me about trust and trust structure. And he started sharing information on some of his friends that have been gaming the system all these years. Just by moving all these assets into the trust, they had no income and no assets on paper. So therefore, they can start qualifying for whatever they needed. Section 8, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, you name it. But then he really blew my mind, because these parents that had put all their assets into a trust, now when it was time for their kids to go to college, guess what? Now they qualify for student loans, grants, Pell Grants, things of that nature. Instead of the parents having to pay the full ride for school, financial aid paid half, student loans paid the other half. But guess what? Since that student was still a beneficiary, the trust actually paid for the student loan portion. And don't get me wrong, after you see the power of this information, I see why it's being gatekept so much. And no, these individuals not going on Law Depot and LegalZoom getting those free trust structures, because that ain't it. Listen, comment the word trust below.
Exactly. Them Edomites, they know the system. Why? Because it's set up for them to benefit. The system is not set up for Jake, you Israelites, to benefit. You got to get that through your heads. It's not set up for you. It's set up for Esau. It's a corrupt system, right? And it's set up by corrupt people for corrupt people to benefit, right? There's a precept I want to get. Was it the wicked prosper? Let me see, right? Let me see. Uh, these are the wicked that prosper in the world. Salaki. This is Psalm 73. These are the ungodly. Psalm 73. I'm in the same chapter, but verse 3. It says, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. Psalm 73 and these are the ungodly. Yeah. Yep. The Wadi Habashi Shah. Let me keep reading. It says, Psalm 73 and 8. It says, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth, which is their lies. And they speak against the Heavenly Father. All right? And his son, Yahweh Shai. Right? It says they boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth. Right? It says, therefore his people return hither, Salakia. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they, I'm gonna read that in NLT. In the NLT it says, and so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. That's not it. It says, therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocency. And right, these are the wicked that prosper in the world. Because this world was set up for the wicked to prosper. Right? For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. And that's what Jake goes through. You know, we catching hell day and night, right? And we're being corrected. We're catching his hell for our correction, right? We're being set aright. It says, I get nothing but trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. Exactly. You know, Jake, you just barely got enough to make it. You try to save up to do something, and the money don't stay there. You know what I mean? It's always something. It says, if I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then I understood their end. You see, and what is the sanctuary of the Heavenly Father? These scriptures, these words, all right? These prophecies, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? And then once you understand that the wicked, they're set up to lose, right? That's why we shouldn't be putting stock in this world, trying to build something everlasting in this world, because everything that's in this world is going to be destroyed. I was looking at something, and I had looked it up in the NLT, right? I think it was Habakkuk. Yeah, Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil, right? And it says, what sorrow awaits, in the NLT, what sorrow awaits you who build big houses with money gained dishonestly? And that's how Esau has built this whole country, right? He's built his whole country. He's built his wealth dishonestly through dishonest gain. You believe your wealth will buy security, putting your family's nest beyond the reach of danger. And that's Esau's mindset. And 2/3 of Jake, they're in that same mindset. They think that's going the same thing. You get the bag, you start investing like Esau. Trust me, even when you Jakes do find out about it, it's a day late and a dollar short. And by the time you try to take advantage of the system, it's already going to be too late for you to. Esau got it because it's set up for him, not you, right? Because Esau believes that he's beyond the danger. That's why they live in the cul-de-sacs and the suburbs, deep in the wilderness. You know what I mean? Ain't no corner stores, ain't no Chinese stores, ain't no Arab stores, no fried chicken spots. You know, ain't no mechanic shops. Ain't none of this shit that you see in every ghetto USA. It's not there for them people, right? They got homes and houses, and you see these houses, you're like, damn, how these dudes get up? A lot of them cheating the system, hiding their real worth and net worth, and using the system to furnish their living. Meanwhile, you Jakes, the most you're gonna get is some tears and sadness and hurt, you know, destruction. She a drinker too, man. She probably was on drugs and probably recovering. And she's old, her eyes are starting to dim, but it's dimming with what? Pain, terror, hardship, heartache. Meanwhile, Esau, Edom, they crying just for the joy of being able to be on Section 8 and make a living off of that shit. You see? Right? So this man he thinks that his money, his wealth, and security is going to put him beyond the reach of danger. It says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and has sinned against thy own soul. Right? And those many people that Esau cut off were the Israelites. Right? The Lord don't care about the other nations. It says, but by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. And Esau don't know that. He don't realize that, but that's what all you Edomites are going to pay for, starting with the super elite. All right? Because in order for him to build houses here in America, he had to destroy the so-called Native Americans, which you go to Pine Ridge, look up Pine Ridge, man. That place is like a damn third world country, man. A fourth world country. It look like Haiti. That's how bad it is over there. It said 92% of the Pine Ridge population is unemployed, man. Drugs, SA trafficking, all kinds of shit happening on that reservation, bro. You know, and then only certain members of the tribe get to really benefit. They catching hell. Meanwhile, Esau Edom living good, and he on the same benefits that you on. And this dude got the money, but he hides his wealth and he abuses the system that was set up for him and her to really benefit. So going back into Psalm 73, it says in 16, when I thought to know this, it was too painful for me until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then understood I therein, right? So now we in the sanctuary of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we understand Esau's end. Surely thou didst set them in a slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. And ultimately that's going to happen when America is destroyed in nuclear fire. You got homes in America that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. Big ass palatial homes, bro. Neighborhoods that Jake cannot get in, right? I don't care how much money you got, you know? Okay? You Edomites going to be utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one waketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Right, when the Lord sends his son, when the Heavenly Father sends our Lord Yahweh Shai back, the Lord's coming back, he despises the image, you Edomites, man. When you arise, O Lord, you will laugh at their silly ideas. As a person laughs at dreams in the morning. Exactly. Like you thought you was going to have a new world order. You thought you was going to have perpetual rulership on this earth. You thought you was going to enslave the earth again along with the Lord's peoples again. You crazy. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. And that counsel is the Lord's word. And that glory is salvation. You see? See? This is Habakkuk. I'm just Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Who is the prey? Us, the Israelites. This city, this bloody city, is set on blood and lies, man. The blood of the Israelites and lies, right? Woe meaning destruction to that bloody city, man. That's this place. What sorrow awaits Nineveh, the city of murder and lies. She is crammed with wealth and is never without victims. You see? And that's America. That's America, man. See? So I just wanted to bring this out. I thought this was something I can edify with, and just to put you Jakes on. Look, man, don't get upset when you see Esau, Edom, and even these other nations benefiting more than you in this system, because this system wasn't set up for us to benefit. We're in captivity, all right? We're being punished for our iniquities, but soon these nations, starting with Esau, Edom, they're going to be punished, man. And we're going to go from this lowest state to a higher and greater estate, right? When that salvation comes, Lord willing, we part of the elect, okay? Right? These Edomites, they've been benefiting from the system way more, way longer, and they've been abusing the system way longer than Jake has. You know? Landlord explains why he and others are moving away from Section 8. Let me see what he got to say. Let me see what he got to say. It's a lot. I'm just trying to see. Hopefully it plays.
Section 8 is very much in high demand.
Brian Mullins manages around 100 rental properties. 35 of those are Section 8 eligible.
Personally, I would love to be able to do more Section 8.
But Brian said the process of moving someone with a voucher into a home is slow and costly, leading some landlords to abandon the practice completely. Once landlords find a tenant to move into a unit, they must wait for a housing quality standards inspection, which can take weeks, leaving the home vacant until an inspection is passed.
A lot of people, and I know several property managers, that just don't want to do Section 8 anymore because it simply doesn't make financial sense. Because the amount of time it takes for us to place one Section 8 tenant is probably 2 to 3 times the amount of time that it would take a non-Section 8 tenant to move into a property.
The inspection looks to see if the house and its appliances are operating as designed, making sure the unit is safe to live in. But some landlords say these inspections are too tedious, prolonging the move-in process for tenants and landlord without income for weeks.
The best case scenario is it's going to be 3 weeks after we submit that voucher before they'll even do an inspection to even have an opportunity to sign a lease and to move in.
And if the home does not pass the first inspection,
then we have to fix it and then start the whole 3-week process.
Yeah, so this man's he's a slumlord. He don't want to fix it. They surface fix shit, and that's what they put Jake in. Meanwhile, Esau Edom living a life of luxury, man.
I'm still like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like,
look at this big house. She got a 2-car garage. She got a 2-car garage, 3-bedroom house, bro, in a quiet, nice neighborhood. And if you Jakes would buy your house next to her, she'd be a fucking nuisance to you. You see? Because this system ain't set up for us, bro. This is evidence, man. I hope brothers and sisters watch this video and that it was edifying. If it is, leave a comment on it below. Post some scriptures. Do reply videos. Hey, man, the system is jacked up, bro. But hey, what can you do? We in hell. Hey, shalom.